Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, or good evening, whichever time you happen to view this. First, I will say the program today is the steady dismantling of our nation. Another Howard's Views. And as we move ahead, you'll find that I'm the one responsible for this program. But talking about the dismantling, first I'd like to say thanks to the men and women of the armed forces. Those who have served in the past, those who are serving today, and those who will soon be serving their nation. Talking about the steady dismantling, I'm talking about the Constitution and the amendments to it and those guarantees that we've had for more than 200 years. How they're changing today, how they're picking everything apart and trying to change the way we think. Recently, was brought to my attention another college that has a steady increase in the brainwashing of students. And I call it brainwashing. They call it sensitivity training with sensitivity exercises. Sensitivity. Sensitivity to what? Sensitivity to others? Sensitivity to the way they think? Sensitivity to the way what they have to go through? No, it's a form of brainwashing to get everyone to adopt or adapt to a single standard, to a single way of doing things. And so in this sensitivity training, they even have you play role models. For instance, you might not be gay, but then you play the part of a gay, and people do things to you that they imagine other people do to gays. Or you might be a Latino, whatever that means. So you could be Mexican or Nicaraguan, or you could be from Costa Rica. So you have to imagine that you're from that country and the embarrassments you might suffer at someone else's hands. Or you could play the part of a black person and suffer the indignities and listen through them so that they brainwash you the way you're supposed to act. You know, when I was brought up, I was taught to be courteous and considerate. But I wasn't trained as a child to sit there while people berated me and I had to live in fear that someone was going to say the wrong thing. They have a program at Duke University, from what I understand, and they're adopting it and using it at Arizona State, a university where people of minority views, by that, I mean people like me who are subjected to the liberal assaults day and night at that university. I'll do a little verse here. They don't approve of hate, hate, hate at Arizona State. Everyone must now conform before assignment to a dorm. They're trained in sensitivity. In French, they say, oui. They'll teach you not to hate, hate, hate at Arizona state, state, state. They take your individuality and change it to conformity. They brainwash. It's sensitivity. In Spanish, said CCC. Yes, so they put students through these sensitivity training programs. And really, for some of them, it affects them the rest of their lives. Not in the right way, but in the wrong way. Courtesy. That should be something they teach. Sensitivity and playing role models. That's crazy. But that is a brainwashing method used in communist states. It's called re-education. Communism, re-education. Okay? They did it in Korea. In North Korea during the war, the Korean War, U.S. soldiers who were captured had to submit to these brainwashing sessions, self-criticism. What did we do wrong? Why, we believed in the United States and we went to fight for our country. And really, it was a harrowing experience for our soldiers. And then, in the Jane Fonda period, the Jane Fonda communist period, in Vietnam, when our forces left, the surrendered South Vietnamese army, they were all sent to re-education camps. And I sat and talked to a man that had spent 12 years in a re-education camp as they attempted to brainwash him that he no longer wanted freedom, that he would be willing to live under a dictatorship. And maybe he didn't say the right things at the right time. So that in 12 years, finally, the U.S. government was able to obtain his release, but thousands of others stayed there, and thousands died, subjected to brainwashing. Now, we have to keep these things in mind and see the intent of the American left, which has a strong hold on our colleges and universities.